káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí bàbá wa Professor Adebanji Akintoye at 90 years old. We are grateful to have such a very intelligent, capable man that is leading one of the biggest movements in the history of mankind. So Mokiwawe, welcome once again. As we start the evening, depending on Agoti Obawa Lodoyin, it is 3 minutes to 1 a.m. right from the most beautiful part of the continent, I think we need Africa. And you're currently about to watch a very fantastic program. Bí a ti ṣe ń wọlé ní méjì mẹ́ta, let us invite others to join, and let us also bring in as many others to come and have reasons to the Yorubas and the rest of the world needs to know why being with Nigeria is no longer visible. So Mokibubua, I say good morning and welcome. Èmi ni wọ́n pè ní Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. And as we say on this platform, níbi tí a ti ń kọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ tí a fi ń dára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, and also in prepare for education to every hooks and corners of the world. Láti jẹ́ káwọn tí wọ́n mọ̀ nípa ìran Yorùbá láti lè jẹ́ kó mọ̀ nípa ìran wa. Tí a bá jẹ́ káwọn tí ó wà lágbàáyé mọ̀ nípa wa, we will always be classified as Nigerians, even though we are not Nigerians. As we are still preparing the last part of those that need to know that we are live, Ebawa gbé program yìí jáde kó lọ sí gbogbo ibi tí a fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ó lọ across every part of the world. Media work is the most important that can also wake the spirit of our people. Many of our people do not know the importance of the media work, but responsibility ni òun ni pé kí a ṣiṣẹ́ day and night láti fi awaken àwọn tí wọ́n ṣì ń doubt. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ṣì ń doubt pé Nigeria needs to come to an end. And ìdí tí wọ́n ṣe ń doubt ẹ̀ ni pé àwọn kan ṣì ń fún wọn ní false hope nípa Nàìjíríà. Mo ń bọ̀.
Tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá, the Yoruba indigene, mo fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. I want to talk to you all. Mo lè fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí n bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. To say. Wọ́n náà ti ba abúlé yín, wọ́n ti gbà tán. I said they are already usurping you from your villages all over Yoruba state. Ní Ogun State. In Ogun State. Ọ̀ṣun State. Ọ̀ṣun State. Ondo State. Ondo State. Anambra State. Even Anambra State. Gbogbo àwọn ilẹ̀ Igbo wọ̀nyẹn. Even the Igbo lands as well. Àwọn wọ̀nyí ti wọ̀. People are already entering those places. Wọ́n lè ti gba gbogbo ẹ̀. And they are already overtaking you people in your various states. What we are saying right now, this is not about religion. Christian, whether you're a Christian Muslim, or you're a Muslim, we are Yoruba traditional worshippers. This is time we must band together to fight for our father's so they don't overtake us in it. Don't let them use religion to take over our land. All those villages they have taken over in Ondo State, when they wanted to kill, they killed Christian and Muslim alike. They are fighting for the land. They are not fighting for religion. They are just coming through the lens of religion. But I'm telling you all Yoruba, please be prepared. Nigerians at large, please be well prepared so that they don't take you away from your father's land. I'm calling also the royalities in Yoruba land. Your Ooni of Ife, the Imperial Majesty. We greet you, sir. Please talk about this. The new Alaafin, please talk about this. All the kings in Ondo State. The kings in Lagos, Oyo, Osun, please talk about this. Because when the war overwhelms us, we will not be able to do anything about it. Personally, I'm ready for war. I told you the last time that you fortify yourself. Some people will say, why will a pastor utter that kind of statement? Please go and fortify yourself. Because when war comes, I will drop my Bible. I will go and fight for my father's land. When the Christianity comes into Nigeria, 1842. It came in 1842. That was when it came in. And the first person to compile the Bible, his name is Williams. They killed him on the 6th, 1536. They brought in, he was lynched. The person that compiled the Bible for us. So don't let us put religion into our culture or fight for our father's land. I will fortify myself and I will be a leader. And if you can fortify people, fortify them. We will fight that war. I will drop my Bible because of my father's land. Because the Bible says it. Hebrews 6 verse 1. It says, set aside the teachings of Christ and let us do what is for you. We will now put it aside. Let's fight for our father's land. And we tell Jesus to help us. To help us in the war for our father's land. That's what we are going to do.
Mo kí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní orí ìkànnì wa tí à ń pè ní Koikimedia. Mo kí wa pé a very good evening and good morning and welcome once again. Bí ẹ ṣe ń wọlé, ẹ bá wa máa share program wa.
There is no land called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves. We are not Nigerian. Okay, where is Nigeria? Where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say, pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself, because the people who want to be that Nigeria are not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria.
Have we agreed that we want to live together? Àbí politicians are pushing the agenda that we should live together. How prepared are you for all the activities of the mega rally that we're expecting very soon? Can we now say that there was no evidence against Nnamdi Kanu that is a terrorist, even though he has been held by the government for the last 4 years? Injustice to one is injustice to all. If we remain quiet, many people will still face the same problem. After many years of injustice, even though the family has accepted their fate, I can confirm that the Bamishe family have now got a closure to the death of their daughter that was killed by Lagos State government through one of their staff. I'll be telling you more about that as well. Nigeria still remains a crime scene. And it is not likely to stop because we have all kept quiet. And that shows that the more we remain silent, the more many will die. During the course of the program yesterday, we talked about a beautiful baby that was born. I've just been told that the baby died due to the negligence of myself and you for not protecting that newborn baby. So the more we keep quiet, the more death will occur. It is exactly 11 minutes past 1 a.m. and I welcome you to the live broadcast on the Koikimedia channel. Is your first time? We welcome you. If you're a second time, we appreciate you and we hope you have learned so much in the space of 5 years of many things that you probably never knew or was not aware of.
Koikimedia, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia, 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 we bring the world closer to your
your doorstep. Koikimedia. 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 We bring the world closer to your doorstep. Àwọn tó lára àgbà yìí dá. Àwọn ló máa ṣàtìkè. Ìgbéde lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o. Àwa gangan ni bàbá. Koikimedia. 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 We bring the world closer to your doorstep. They never sabi wetin we carry for her. But e dey move closer for them to sabi. I said they never know wetin we carry for body. But e dey move closer for them to sabi. Ọ̀kìn lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ ni ń lo ló lájú. Ètò lórí kodò bí àná ọgbẹ́ ìdílé dúró. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa. Ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè gbójúlú àga. Òdúdú ọkọ̀ bá lè gbé wá. Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣègìrì. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀kọ́ adúláwọ̀. Ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí. Àwa lè gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé. Ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri. Ìyàwó Odùduwà ni wá. Koikimedia, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù gbọ́, tí wọ́n kàn ní. Lásà, ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wa káyé gbúgbà yín jẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù gbọ́, tí wọ́n kàn ní. À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù gbọ́, tí wọ́n kàn ní. News and sports, ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ètò tó pọ̀jù gbọ́. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koikimedia ọ̀rọ̀ lágbájúmọ̀ mi o. Máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà o. Àǹkádùn rẹ̀, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi, ṣé ni ló máa fi dìbò ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o? Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ sájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀. Àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé lẹ́bọ̀ra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó òyìnbó tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà jẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koikimedia ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àdàtọ̀ àtúnpèrè gidi. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àwa là ń gbé tò lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọgbọ́ o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àtúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, bàbá kankan. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ikú tó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá yìí. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. We bring you one closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Afẹ́fẹ́ tó fẹ́ òòlù kan ní oko lára ni. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àpèrè gèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Gbogbo ayé ẹ̀gbọ́n, àwa ní bàbá o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Odùduwà lágbèdá ní òtítọ́ lágbèdá ní. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àti sọ́dalẹ̀, àti sódìkẹta. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àdúrótán, àtúnpẹ̀rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia we bring you up closer to your doorstep. Àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia is around to give us the test. Is around to give us the test. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹ mú kálẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹgbẹ́ tí ẹ̀kọ́ ètò tó I welcome us back once again to our late night broadcast. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Let's listen to these and we come back.
They wanted to be separate from the country that the British Empire had imposed on us. It was the country of Nigeria, where they kind of took a bunch of independent nations who don't have anything to do with each other, don't even speak each other's language, don't relate. Many of them were even enemies and warring at the time, smushed them all together and drew these arbitrary lines around them and called them countries and named those countries.
Right.
And it said, now y'all get along and do a country for us and be a union for us. And then go through, contentious, bloody independence processes that never really yield any real independence. You're still part of a commonwealth afterwards.
True.
And you have the eternal meddling in your affairs and the eternal extraction of your resources and the eternal fomenting of divisiveness and infighting in order to be able to control you. This is what an oppressor does, a colonizer does. These are tactics and strategies of dominance.
Right.
We were subjected to that as a larger unit of Nigeria. And then when the Igbo people said, we want our own thing, let's go and do that. Well, it so happened to be that the territory that this new country of Biafra was going to be in included very, very rich oil reserves. And the British were not going to let go of that.
Wow.
And the people that they had put in power, that their puppet Nigerian governments weren't going to do that either because they needed it for the Nigerian project.
Right.
And Britain needed it for its own interests and uses. So Great Britain got directly involved in this civil war and in the war for independence and decided that they would do everything to make sure that Biafra did not go.
Wow.
And this everything meant directly funding genocide of the people of Biafra.
It is not in their hands because you know what? Power belongs to the people. Anything we want is what we're going to get.
Once again, I want to ask this. Do you think this dream is realizable without a war? And are you prepared to fight another war?
This dream can be realized without a war. And let me put it this way, as soon as the people, the various ethnic groups in Nigeria realize what Nigeria means to each and every ethnic group, they will subscribe to our position. So it is realizable without a war. Before the white man came, let me ask you this, because it's an interview, which means you can ask me questions and I can ask you. Before the white man came, was there any Nigeria? Before the white man came, did Nigeria exist? It's a simple question that I'm asking. Did Nigeria exist before?
It didn't, no.
It didn't exist. Then why are African people, black people dying over something that they did not create? If any Yoruba man creates Nigeria, the answer is no, no Yoruba man created Nigeria, no Hausa man did, no Fulani man did, no Kanuri man did, no Chukun man did. When you come to Nigeria, it's always a debate about, it's our turn. It is our turn. It's our turn to rule. Now, there are over 250 main ethnic groups in Nigeria. If you keep rotating the presidency every 8 years to each and every ethnic group, times 8 by 250. How many years are you going to get? So some people will die many times over. They will reincarnate many times over. The presidency hasn't come to them. Nigeria is a joke and an absolute mess. It was not created by black people. Therefore, it cannot be sustained by black people. I want to see an Africa where a Yoruba nation, a Yoruba mega nation extends from Togo all the way to Edo State. That's what I want. Because that is authentic Africa. I don't know why Africans are so beholden to something that's alien to them. Are you a white man? The Luga that created Nigeria is a white man. What are you doing as an African defending something that a white man created out of, should I say, a racist intent? Nigeria was an ordinary company, Royal Niger Company, an ordinary business venture that the British converted into a nation. And Africans are killing themselves, trying to maintain something that a white man created. Sometimes I wonder what type of God made African people. I don't understand it. And that's why you have this neo-colonialism. That is why the British High Commissioner had to go to Tinubu to ask him, how do you end this protest? Because if this protest continues, you're jeopardizing our oil. Now the kind of can use it as an advantage to go and get Biafra. They ask the army to go in and kill people. You people are being ruled by your colonial masters. Your fate is not in your hand. You're in a country that is 60 years old, so to speak. There is no electricity. If I am a Nigerian, I can't come out and say I'm a Nigerian. I'll be ashamed of myself. For 60 years, you have no electricity. For 60 years, no good roads. For 60 years, no good schools. For 60 years, your politicians are traveling abroad for medical treatment. I ask you, what is there to be proud of about Nigeria? Name one thing you can be proud of. Name one thing. It's a question I'm asking you, Dele. Tell me one thing you can be proud of in Nigeria.
Nigerians are amongst the brightest people in the world, including the Igbo people, of which you are one. You're a very brilliant man. That is Nigeria in your DNA.
I was born in Biafra, not a Nigerian. Nigeria is a historical mistake.
Was there a birth certificate at that time that wrote Biafra on it?
Of course, yes. You want to show you? I'll show you. I can email it to you. It's not here with me right now. I can email it to you. Mine was with Biafra.
I don't mind.
I will email it to you. So you see, what I'm asking is, if Nigeria never existed until the white man came, why are you, as a black African man, defending it? What's the white man created? Why? When you have Yorubas in Benin Republic, Yorubas in Togo, they speak your language, they eat your food, they dress the same way you do, you have the same culture, the same value system, the same orientation, and I'm asking you, and the white man came from Europe and said, oh, you are Yoruba from Togo, you speak French. You're Yoruba from Benin Republic, you're going to speak French. But you're Yoruba from Nigeria, you speak English. Are people not perturbed by that? That level of dehumanization, that level of subjugation. You see, the one thing that shocks me about Africa and their class of intellectuals is the fact that they are willing to swallow hook, line, and sinker anything the colonial master gives to them. And I've asked you this very question. Can you go to Europe and create a country as a black man? The answer is no. Then why must you accept what a white man is doing in Africa? This is where we are poor and very backwards. Do you see why Nigeria can never have 24 hours of electricity? Never, ever, ever, ever. Because the town is faulty. The orientation of Fulani Janja, people were protesting SARS killings in the south. Fulani people in the north, you are busy having fun and laughing and smiling. And you want to be in the same country with them. Your value system, your reasoning, your understanding, your orientation can never ever be the same. Never be the same. Why did Britain leave the EU? Then I'm asking you, are they not Christians? Are they not Democrats? Don't they believe in free trade and voting people in and voting them out? But then, why did Britain leave the EU? Why? The same Britain that left the EU is asking me not to leave Nigeria. Nigeria that is only 100 years old. Your grandfather was Nigerian. Was not. So why must you throw away the history of your family, the rich history of Yoruba people? Because a white man called the place Nigeria. Why must you do that? Why? Can I go to England and name them and name them Albania and say all your history is now gone? We are doing our ancestors a disservice. And let me tell you why Black Africa cannot go forward. Some people, not you, some people accepted this nonsensical balkanization of Africa with their useless flag independence. And your ancestors are in the grave. Your ancestors that existed before the white man was born, they are in the grave. You jettison their history and their identity. You banish it, you denigrate it, you insult them by accepting this garbage called Nigeria, and you want them to be happy with you. That is why no black African country can see development. No black, it is not in their hands, because you know what?
That was some of the strong discussion of Nnamdi Kanu before he was kidnapped, rendition back to Nigeria almost 4 years ago. Nnamdi Kanu was back to court yesterday, the 2nd of May 2025. And already the same Janjaweed government are shooting themselves in the foot, because exactly what many people have said, that this man has not committed a crime. And this is for many Yoruba people that wanted Nnamdi Kanu's head to be chopped off, but does not want the government to chop off Igboho's head. Sometimes I wonder how we Yoruba people will reason and think. We are fighting a government that the same Biafra are fighting, rather than us to put our strength together so that we can defeat the enemies simultaneously. We have decided to attack the Biafra. I am not talking about the Igbos that doesn't believe in Biafra. But for those that believe in Biafra, rather than us come together, many Yoruba people will always tell you, we cannot trust the Igbos, which is quite understandable. Likewise, the Biafra will say the same thing. But let's quickly give us the update from the court proceeding yesterday, according to the news coming out of Channels Television, one of your mainstream media back home. One of the DSS that have been brought to witness against Nnamdi Kanu by the federal government has confirmed now that no instrument of terrorism was found on Nnamdi Kanu. At least we give thanks that we still have individuals that might not love Nnamdi Kanu, but they've been able to tell us the truth and nothing but the truth. All along, the Fulani and Britain have done everything to kill this man, just like they wanted to kill Igboho, but they failed to. So Nnamdi Kanu has been able to prove with everything and the knowledge and the research and a strong Biafra team across the globe that all they wanted was a peaceful dissolution of Nigeria. So according to the news, again, coming out of Abuja during the court proceeding of Nnamdi Kanu versus federal government, no instrument of terrorism found on Nnamdi Kanu DSS witness tells the court in Abuja yesterday. Once again, no instrument of terrorism was found on Nnamdi Kanu, the DSS witness tells the court. PW1, according to the name given to these behind closed door witness, further disclosed that he did not find any instrument of violence. He did not find any instrument of violence on the lady with Kanu and did not consider her company as facilitating terrorism. So evidence is now there that whatever the Fulani and Britain were trying to pin on Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist has failed. Everybody knows the real terrorist in the contraction known as Nigeria. Britain knows, America knows, the European country knows, but rather a British passport holder was left to face injustice in the court known as Jungle in Nigeria. First, you cannot try someone that you kidnap without proper rendition or legal process. But many Nigerians and Yorubas are happy that Nnamdi Kanu was caught in Kenya, but was not brought back to Nigeria using the proper legal means, because Kenya is another shithole jungle that was aligning with the same agenda like Nigeria to allow Nnamdi Kanu to be kidnapped back to Nigeria. So how do you try someone that you kidnap? According to international law, it is not permissible. You can't just go out of the country and send machineries and kidnap people. But because Nigeria is a lawless country in the first place, and it remains a lawless country, and nothing will change until the dissolution of Nigeria. It is not the first time that Buhari, the criminal Fulani man, has attempted to kidnap before. But because many Nigerians that are gullible does not understand that Buhari agenda was never in the interest of either the Yorubas, the Hausas, neither the Igbos, because a Fulani man interest will always be in the interest of his own Fulani people. So today, across every part of Nigeria, we are facing the humanitarian crisis that Buhari and a criminal Yoruba man called Yemi Osinbajo facilitated. But the two of them are not the only individual. We need to also call on Tinubu and El-Rufai on how they were able to bring in many terrorists into the country that has now become a big problem for us. I'll give you evidence to that, even though many of you know that there's evidence that Tinubu, El-Rufai, as they wanted to defeat Jonathan, brought in Fulanis into the country, and they've decided not to go back. The trial of the Mbatu leader of the indigenous people of Biafra across the world until today, no country has designated IPOB as a terrorist organization, apart from a terrorist country that is calling an indigenous people that wanted to exit Nigeria terrorists. I mean, you wonder the kind of brain in the heart of humans that a particular set of people within a country that are doing exactly what we are doing have been labeled as terrorists, and the gullible Nigerians accepted and believed that garbage. And they've now portrayed every single diaspora that are IPOB members or those that are also indigenous people that are back home as terrorists. But the actual terrorists that everybody knows are the Fulanis under the leadership of the Miyetti Allah and all the governors across. But truly, is Nigeria a country? Evidence point out that Nigeria is not a country, and let's take a listen to this, and I come back on my seat.
This conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this would help us to have the conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought four, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Amado Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country, but the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
And we know that that is the reason why Britain looked away for the last 4 years with the man that holds a British passport. It shows the injustice. And the same Britain wants us to trust them, even though we know that they can never be trusted. But the gullible Nigerians believe that since Britain offers a visa entry to their country and also deceive us by giving us the hope through their fake Secretary of State, David Lammy, that we should not accept to listen to Nnamdi Kanu that wants the dissolution of Nigeria. that rather we should wait by 2075 and Nigeria will be a fantastic country that we can all live in, and it will be well developed as the 5th largest economy. But the same Britain cannot question the federal government because Britain is behind the kidnap and the hostage of Nnamdi Kanu for the last 4 years in the DSS custody. We know that. So each and every ambassador that Britain has in Nigeria, from Katrina Lang to Dr. Montenegro and the rest of whoever represents the monarchy system in Nigeria, looked away. They purposely decide not to talk about Nnamdi Kanu's case. If you ask them, they give you all kinds of different excuses not to talk about it, because they knew that Nnamdi Kanu is fighting the right cause. We know how Britain supported Nigeria against Biafra in 1967. But it will be very difficult in the 21st century for Britain to do the same fight. It will bring the end of Britain itself if they are not careful. So we are not here to beg Britain to allow Nnamdi Kanu to be free. But we know that the more Britain continue to try to hold these fake foundation that never worked from 1914 together, Britain itself might face a lot of consequences spiritually and physically. And I hope they understand that you cannot hold two major indigenous people for your own selfish gain. Let's listen to these prophecy, regardless of whether you agree or believe. I am not here to convert you, but I am here to tell you that should Britain remain the major obstacle to the dissolution of the same country that they knew that we are not one, Britain must prepare for whatever befall them as a country, because the gods of the land that was merged together will fight them back. And that's exactly what is going to happen. So what you're about to listen to is just one out of many evidence that something was struck back with Britain. Should Britain continue to smile in the front and destroy indigenous people behind by telling lies, true will be a great country by 2075. We do not want to be in a country called Nigeria by 2075. We would rather want to have our own independent country so that this fake union that Britain forced, because it was a forced union, if Britain does not let loose, this country will still be destroyed through whatever means as it is currently being used today, from the media to those that are good in prayer to communicate, to those that can call the gods of the land, from the Biafra to the Oduduwa. Britain will face the consequence should they continue to withhold the truth about the creation of this nonsense country that have allowed indigenous people not to attain their goals, Britain will face the consequence of it. I can assure you that. Let's listen to these and we'll come back. Once again, it's exactly 12 minutes to 2 a.m. in the morning, and you're on the Koikimedia network. Good evening, good morning, and welcome. It's your first time, share the program. And if you're regular, we say thank you so much for joining us again. Let's listen to this together as we continue with our education on this channel.
Prophecies I want to release that are already in the realms of the spirit now, that the Lord wants us to now look into. Maraposhke Brabadina. In the realm of the spirit, the Lord took the major prophet of God and took me straight away to a place called United Kingdom. This is UK. And as I see myself in the realm of the spirit to UK straight away, the Lord said that is what's called crisis coming. Maradam Broko Fruda. I am not a prophet that come to now prophesy anything I like. I come to say the things that the Spirit minister to me. Lord said they should pray for the people of UK because I'm so on crisis right there in United Kingdom. Don't forget the 2-3 weeks like a month ago, I told you about crisis in France, how they're going to be protests over there. And you saw how the people, the French people, begin to now protested and begin to protest everywhere. Don't forget, it was a prophecy I give online like this. Because I am seeing in the realm of the spirit where the people called the people of United Kingdom, especially UK, called British people protesting, and they are having what's called a crisis. And I begin to ask the Lord, what's the meaning of this crisis? Because that's what's called whoever is holding what belongs to a child and lift it up and refuse to give to the child, that hand will wither one day. And what belongs to the child will be given to the child. The Lord said the people of UK, talking about British, should repent and give their life to Christ. They should repent and release the countries they uphold all this while in the name of what's called colonial masters. The country they bring confusions into, the country they have to adapt their everything, but their politics, and they brought all a lot of things. The Lord said they should quickly repent because there's going to be crisis inside them. Major prophet, I am not the originator or the orchestrator of whatever. Major prophet is only looking at the spiritual world and giving prophecy. But the voice of the Lord is a voice of warning. The voice of the Lord is a voice of correction. The voice of the Lord is the voice of comfort. The voice of the Lord has it all to give to humanity. And the Lord who has called the major prophet of God has given me the grace to prophesy. He's speaking especially to what's called the people, the British should remove their hand from countries, especially the country Nigeria. They should stop creating confusion. I was online and the Lord told me, and the Lord said, they will.
Before we continue to listen, whether you believe this man, whether you don't, do you know millions of people in Biafra land continue to curse Britain? Millions of people in Oduduwa land continue to curse Britain for the crime of putting us in this current situation that we are experiencing. So you don't even need a prophecy to tell you that Britain is being cursed on a daily basis for putting us through this terrible, difficult time as indigenous people. You don't need people to tell you these. You need to understand that what we are experiencing in Nigeria today is the cost of what Britain put together. Whatever your experience in Nigeria today, the root cause of it is Britain. So whether you accept or believe this prophecy or not, it is a fact. I want us to listen to the video I played yesterday because I have a further update that is not a good one. When I was releasing this video yesterday, I did not know that I was just, again, projecting what Britain created for we, the Yorubas, and likewise the Hausas, that Britain knew that the Fulanis are not the owner of the land, yet Britain accepted Fulani to take control of the northern part of Nigeria. This video that some of you will have to listen to just the voice, because you can only watch the video if you're on our Facebook page right now. So if you want to see this video, you need to jump straight into my Facebook page, Koikimedia, or Koikimedia Odudua, or Koikimedia Odudua page. So 3 pages on our Facebook running simultaneously, even though we know that since I do not talk about sex, Britain and the rest of these social media have shadow banned our channel with over 500,000 followers. You'll be surprised the numbers of people that are watching us on Facebook, but I am not bothered as long as we're still allowed to broadcast from it. So let's listen together and I'll tell you the update that I got from those close to the family. I've not been told to release the WhatsApp chat because it contains sensitive information, but I'll tell you what I have back in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
níjọba Nàìjíríà yàrá ẹ wo ọmọ tí mò ń wò yìí ọ̀la nílé ilẹ̀ wọ́n dìtẹ́tì pé ó ní jaundice hospital mẹ́rin lọ ti gbé lọ ó gbé lọ sí Kòròdú hospital wọ́n rí fún àwọn lọ sí Lut láti Lut wọ́n ní kó máa lọ sí Mercy láti Mercy ní kó máa bọ̀ lọ sí hospital kan tó wà ní inú reluwé ní kílò orúkọ ẹbí FLC wọ́n ní kó máa bọ̀ wọ́n tún débẹ̀ yẹn náà wọ́n tún gba ọmọ ẹ̀ wọ́n tún sọ fún wọn pé wọ́n tún máa gbé lọ sí Sùúrùlérè níbì kan wọ́n tún débẹ̀ náà wọ́n tún gbà wọ́n ní kò sí iná táwọn máa fi gbé sínú pétọ̀ ẹni pé Nàìjíríà wa yìí ojoojúmọ́ ló ń wọ̀ sí Ọlọ́run ọba nìkan ló lè ṣàánú ẹ wo láti àárọ̀ tó ti gbé ọmọ yẹn kiri ṣé wọ́n pé tó bá gba ọmọ yẹn tó fún ní first treatment nǹkan kan lè máa ṣe mí dẹ̀mọ̀ kí lágbára Ọlọ́run kan kò ní ṣe ẹni pé.
You hear that word? For those of you that do not understand Yoruba, Lagbara Olorun means by the power of the Creator. Oh yes, I believe in the power of the Creator, but not when a country that was put together by Britain, because throughout my 27 years living in the United Kingdom, God is not used when I go to the hospital, because the services are there for myself and my family. So I don't need to call God. I just need to see a walk-in service, even though we know that currently the NHS, which is the National Health Service, is under enormous pressure, but the services are still there. On a sad note, for those of you that watch this program, and this baby that I believe is just less than 8 days or maximum 10 days from the time it was given birth, from the information, they're preparing for the naming ceremony, which normally will be 7 days after a baby is born in Yoruba land, have finally died. Yeah. My wife told me that I have to understand it's late, and that means I should try to keep my emotion down. But I can assure those of you politicians that you're coming, your destruction day is getting closer. Be assuring that is coming. The day of your destruction is also getting closer on a daily basis. Even if Britain have destroyed us, the Yoruba land has what it takes to give life and save lives, but you refuse to. For 26 years, you deceived our people that we are running a democracy that doesn't have value for the lives of people and this young baby. I'll play it again one more time for those of you that are not Yoruba speaking. This baby was born, but as usual, for whatever reason, the baby had jaundice. The baby was moved. Imagine with the heat and the weather, even if the baby has been moved from one hospital in an air-conditioned car, which I doubt. The baby was moved from Ikorodu. Those of you that knows Lagos very well, the hospital rejected the baby at the General Hospital in Ikorodu. The baby ended up in Lutz, which is a brand, because everybody knows Lutz. You would think that at least, since Ikorodu is like a dead zone, sorry for those of you living there, I have family living in that axis. At least they've left Ikorodu and brought the baby close to Lutz, which is a little bit more far away from Ikorodu. The baby was rejected. The baby was again taken to another hospital in Surulere. I'm just explaining for those of you that do not understand Yoruba. You can see why I say if we don't destroy this foundation and reset it into having an independent Oduduwa country, Yoruba nation, whatever we decide we will call it. And please, for those of you that keep coming up and telling us, oh, we are not Yoruba, we are Oduduwa, I don't expect that nonsense at this time. When we get to our final destination, we can decide whatever we want to call it. For now, our task is to pull out of Nigeria. So I'm not here to start telling you we are Oduduwa, we are Yoruba people. All I want us to work together and exit Nigeria. If not, many children will die like this. And Jesus will not be able to stop it. Because we're stupid and gullible to be calling Jesus for what the prophet of God or the man of God was saying earlier, that the crisis will hit back Britain. Because whatever the foundation that has not given us the health care that we should enjoy today, and many British citizens and non-citizens can enjoy the service in UK, yet in Yoruba land, in the southeast, in the middle belt, in the north, millions of innocent children continue to die because the 1914 amalgamation was a fraud. So we listen to it one more time, we go back to the prophecy, and then I will close on Nnamdi Kanu's update, and then I'll tell you about another case. Do I think that the family got justice? I don't think so. And that is the Bamishe Anyanwola. My team worked with the family for the last years after the death of Bamishe. I'm in the family group. I'll tell you what we have on that in a few minutes.
Wọ́n detect pé ó ní jaundice. Hospital mẹ́rin ló ti gbé lọ. Ó gbé lọ sí Kòròdú hospital. Wọ́n refer àwọn lọ sí Lut. Láti Lut, wọ́n ní kó máa lọ sí Mercy. Láti Mercy, wọ́n ní kó máa bọ̀ lọ hospital kan tó wà ní inú Reluwé ní kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ ní FLC. Wọ́n ní kó máa bọ̀. Wọ́n tún débẹ̀ yẹn náà, wọ́n tún gba ọmọ ẹ̀. Wọ́n tún sọ fún wọn pé wọ́n tún máa gbé lọ sí Sùúrùlérè níbì kan. Wọ́n tún débẹ̀ náà, wọ́n tún gbà. Wọ́n ní kò sí iná táwọn máa fi gbé sínú pétọ̀. Ẹni pé Nàìjíríà wà yìí ojoojúmọ́.
When Nnamdi Kanu said 60 years, no power supply, the baby that some of you are seeing the image, if you're on the Facebook with me this morning, was rejected because all the hospitals did not have light. This is not just happening in Yoruba land because we want to be partial. In the northern part of Nigeria last week, I believe, and a man took the wife to the hospital where they wanted to operate fibroid from the wife. Some of you have read the article. These are daily occurrence in Nigeria. And if you expect the same criminal drug baron with his child that continue to kidnap and molest citizens that are also running outside Nigeria for their treatment, just like the previous, you will get caught up one day and Nigeria will happen to you. May the soul of this baby continue to rest in peace. I can imagine the mother will have to go through another 9 months. That is if she can even give birth again, because we don't know. So you can see while the prophecy from the major prophet of God says, the crises that we are facing today in every part of the country is what Britain created. Good evening and welcome once again to those of you that have joined us. I can cite everyone in the comment section. Bear with me. Let's listen again back. Would Britain do the needful? I don't know. Regardless of whether Britain will do the needful or not, it is entirely up to indigenous people to fight back now with whatever we have to destroy the last empire. And yes, I know what I'm saying. To destroy the last empire called Nigeria that Britain created. We need to destroy it collectively. Biafra, the Yorubas, the Hausas, the Ijos. This is not the time to mess around. And if you're still one of those hoping for 2027, time will tell if there will be 2027. Time will tell if there will be 2027 election again. Let's go back and hear from what this man says.
Brought all a lot of things. The Lord said they should quickly repair, because there's going to be crisis inside them. Major prophet, I am not the originator or the orchestrator of whatever. Major prophet is only looking at the spiritual world and giving prophecy. But the voice of the Lord is a voice of warning. The voice of the Lord is a voice of correction. The voice of the Lord is the voice of comfort. The voice of the Lord has it all to give to humanity. And the Lord, who has called the major prophet, God has given me the grace to prophesy. He's speaking especially to what called the people, the Britain should remove their hand from countries, especially the country Nigeria. They should stop creating confusion. I was online and the Lord told me, and the Lord said, they will come to the country. That they are coming into the country. They will come down to the country. And the prophecy did not take up to 1 week. They arrived. What we heard that they come to now fight some insurgents and things like that. But the Lord appeared to give serious warning because this country, Nigeria, has potentials. They can lead themselves. They can get the best out of themselves. Even people can lead themselves as Biafra and move higher and go beyond even better than the whiter people, beyond anybody. But they never wanted to be so. The animals can rule themselves and become even the best nation of the countries of the world. But they never wanted the soul. What about the people called the ought-to-do-one people? The ought-to-do-one people, the Yorubas, can rule themselves and be the best in academia and things like that. But these people never wanted the soul. And this is the reason why you see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is right there in detention, locked up, because there's all the strange force that has colluded and have put together to make sure that nobody sees the light, especially in the country called Nigeria. Because these people are so afraid because of what the Lord is about to do with the life of the indigenous people of this country.
May the Lord continue to give these true men of God wisdom. Not the one like Adeboye, Kumuyi, Bakari, all these criminal gangs of religious leaders that cannot speak the truth to the power, to Britain, to America. They've kept quiet while millions of innocent people continue to suffer the injustice that is happening on a daily basis in their lives. You've heard it from these true man of God that Britain should now allow the indigenous people to go and do their own country, like Dr. Ugo said at the beginning of the video that I played. Before we close on that to move to the next part of the program, I welcome you once again. We will never be one. It does not matter the lies of the IMF, the Goldman Sachs, the World Bank, the UN, countries that continue to deceive Nigerians that we should go and build a country, knowing fully well that no one can build any country called Nigeria, because Nigeria was never a country in the first place. So I hope as we move away from the prophet of God, thank you so much, that very soon Nnamdi Kanu will be set free, because the DSS witness yesterday, 2nd of May, confirmed that no instrument of terrorism was found. If they're looking for terrorists, the government knows where to find them. But like I promise you that I have a video to confirm that Tinubu, El-Rufai, Buhari brought in all the Fulanis that we are experiencing in Nigeria today, I'll give you that evidence in just a few minutes. The Yoruba mega rally is coming up very soon. We wait for further instruction from our leader, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba self-determination movement. Let us remember that funding this movement is everyone's responsibility if we want to be free for the rest of our lives. If we refuse to fund it, nobody else is coming to fund it. So we pray that many of you will have what it takes to support it financially so that we can have all the resources and the tools that is needed during the long-awaited rally. This rally is definitely coming. There's no doubt about it. We've already told you about it through the self-determination movement, YSDM, that continue to lead this movement. Every group is subjected under the YSDM. The YSDM was created for a purpose, and the purpose is to serve the Yoruba people as their body and representative. And the YSDM remains that body that works on our behalf while other groups support the YSDM with all skills, strategy to enhance our freedom out of Nigeria. To know more about the YSDM, you can go on the website www.ysdm.org, where you will find everything you need to know, from donation to get involved. We must not shy away from getting involved. I do hear people say, I do not want people to spit at me. I do not want to involve for reasons and reasons and reasons. If everybody is running away from being involved, the question is, are you waiting for the white man, the white woman that colonized us and doesn't want us to be free to come and be involved and set us free? As a Biafra, you must be involved. As an Hausa, you must be involved to set yourself free. And the same thing goes for us, the Yoruba people. So the YSDM is there as the absolute body the 3rd of May 2025 at exactly coming to 2:16 a.m. YSDM, Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, is a body set up that every group is subjected to, as long as you are under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye. No group can take Yoruba Nation on our behalf, but they can walk in line to support the vision of the leader of the movement, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, that also have Ilana Omo Odua. Just as Ilana Omo Odua and many other groups, we believe everyone should walk in line with the YSDM. Following the resolve of many Yoruba to have our own independent nation outside the Union, we now know as Nigeria, several individuals established various groups and organizations, which are very good, fantastic. There's nothing wrong in it. It is encouraging. We need many groups, formidable groups, lawyers, technicians, engineers, architects, researchers that can all come together to make this vision to be fruitful and not just online discussion. To pursue the dream of a sovereign Yoruba nation. Many of these groups and organization activities were therefore duplicative, which is not good. We need a body that can speak with the international community, countries around the world, so that we can be able to achieve our desired goal of self-determination. No group can do it. The body of the groups will be better off, and that is why we are asking every one of us to be involved. Pastors, imams, our traditionalists, the kings. We know that they are not going to be involved, but we still encourage them to do so. It is not too late. Many of these groups and organizations' activities when we started the movement in 2019 were therefore duplicative. We cannot have many groups sending letters to the United Nations, the European Union, the African Union. We will become unserious people. We will become laughing stock of the world, that these are people that have been told that they were well advanced, well read, even before the colonizer came in the 15th century, the Portuguese. Why then can't we do things accordingly? But rather, still, many do not want to accept the YSDM for the great work that was put together to have it set up in 2021, August, when it was established and inaugurated in September 2021. It took a lot of task and work to get the YSDM. They might not be perfect. Nothing is perfect because we are not yet a government. Even governments around the world are not perfect. So if you're looking for perfection, you might not get it. But we can work together to make it perfect. Rather than us trying to whine and bring the YSDM down, what we should be doing is to work with it as groups so that we can succeed quickly out of Nigeria. And every groups are working fantastically. We appreciate. We cannot continue to name all the groups because there are many groups and we might omit one. But we know that Ilana Modua is just one out of the many groups that was established in 2020, I believe, after the Yoruba World Congress. It was almost collapsed. The Yoruba World Congress established during the period of Professor Akintoye taking us into the UNPO. But today, it is no longer called the Yoruba World Congress. It is now called Ilana Omo Oodua. The Yoruba in the diaspora, the Yoruba in the homeland, the Yoruba in Africa. We need to speak now to save ourselves out of the contraction. And that is exactly why working under one umbrella is better than having many that think that they can do it, even though we know that the YSDM has what it takes. And we as organizations can then walk in line with the YSDM. So let's read further on what YSDM is all about. Since organizations continue to have duplicative of each other, causing drawbacks and at times weariness to the many Yoruba patriots involved in our self-determination struggle. We experienced this at the beginning of the movement some 4 years ago. And we hope that we will not have to experience it again this time around. For these reasons, the vision vision of the Yoruba self-determination movement emerged, YSDM. Many Yoruba people need to know that there is a YSDM and it is there for a purpose. Like I said, they might not be perfect. We pray for them. We work with them. We support them under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye and all our leaders. As a collaborative body of Yoruba self-determination groups or organizations. And the purpose of the YSDM was to create a framework for achieving the task ahead. It is our duty, collective duty, to work with the YSDM so that the task ahead can be achieved and not just a dream as illusion. No matter how strong, powerful you are, we can work with the YSDM to achieve the task ahead. It took several consultations, which shows that this is a movement that wants a better future, where in a Yoruba country, Oduduwa Republic, whatever we decide to call it, consultation will be the backbone. We consult before taking or doing things, as against Nigeria that refused to consult, and as Britain did not consult enough. Neither did they even consult when they were merging Nigeria together in 1914. Because I'm sure that if Britain has done a lot of consultation, rejection would have happened from Egbaland to Ekiti, to Ondo, to Ijebu, to Oyo, to Ife, that we do not want to be part of a one entity block called Nigeria. But since consultation was not done, this was different from the setup of the YSDM. There was serious and several consultation, a lot of closed-door virtual meetings, and eventually, YSDM movement was established on the 7th of August 2021, and thereafter, same year, it was inaugurated on the 23rd of September 2021. The question then is, what are the aims and the objectives? Nobody knows the aims and the objectives of Nigeria because Nigeria is not a country. That is why we continue to have so many things that are going the other way around in Nigeria. The aims of the Yoruba self-determination movement, known as the YSDM, is to achieve just one thing. Is not to take us to become a political party, but one thing only, the sovereignty for the Yoruba nation. That is the aim. Anything short of that, we would not follow it. And that's exactly why we need to understand, as groups, as people, as individuals, as organizations, that we cannot have multiple organizations taking us to where we can become a sovereign country. We can only walk along the lines. And that is why Professor Adebanji Akintoye created the manual guide to support this movement. Many people have refused to read this manual guide, even though on this channel, Koikimedia, we have done quite extensive work to give us everything we need to know, from the manual guide to the guideline to prosperity, that took me months to go through every content of it. But yet, people rather prefer to watch things that probably will not even help the movement. We cannot do more than what we are doing. And we're doing our best. Because the first task to fight any government is to have the right tools, which is information. But the right information is there on this channel, but you refuse to. Rather, you continue to complicate yourself with medias that does not have the full interest of this movement. We've talked about the good news path to prosperity in our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yoruba. Go back and type that on the search engine on Google, and it will bring back every discussion that this channel did on it. Professor Akintoye instructed every media to talk about it. I will let you go and check if any other media did extensive work on this. Then how do you want to tell your people that you're leaving Nigeria? Just by saying that Fulani is killing you alone, when the people doesn't even know what we are bringing for them. The young baby that died, the mother, probably if every one of us, as instructed by Professor Akintoye, have talked about the healthcare, she probably will realize that there's a future rather than still trying to pray for a shit old country called Nigeria. But many people that you expect to talk about the same thing that Professor Akintoye gave the mandate on every media to go out there and talk about it, they refuse to talk about it. But they want to talk about crisis, gossip, chaos. But nobody wants to talk about the good news, path to prosperity. Just as the same thing when Professor Akintoye told us about the manual script that will lead us to have our country. Many refuse as well to talk about it. The question then is why? And these are meant to be medias working in line under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Sometimes I wonder whether we have not even have many obstacles from the beginning that wants to derail the movement. Some have turned the movement into whatever they believe. The Yoruba people around the world have supported each and every single one of us financially. No media would ever say that you did not support us enough. You gave us money, you prayed for us, you stood by us, but the same media refused to go in line with the project of Yoruba nation fully. Not every media, but majority of them, I'm sure you know those I'm talking about. Will that stop the movement? No. Because the movement forged ahead with them or without them. But it's a shame that those that collected your hard-earned money are now telling you all sorts of things that the Yoruba people are not ready to leave Nigeria. The question you should ask them is, what have they been fighting for in the first place? Because nobody, including myself, was forced to join this movement. It is my own will to put forward my media organization to fight to free ourselves from this contraction Britain put together. Even though 10 years we worked hard within the Nigerian community, that my record still stands as an outstanding. And I don't think I've done 10 years serving the Yoruba people. those that collected your fund, those that you gave money, no matter how small, whether it was once in this movement, twice, I know because some of you have sent us to each other, vice versa. So no media will ever say that we were not funded. You give us super chat, that is funding it. So even if you are not giving them money directly, any money through the super chat is you giving them money for the task to say thank you for the job they're doing. But the same people are coming out now to tell you that the Yoruba people are not ready. The question is, when are we going to be ready to exit Nigeria? Are we running a comedy show on Netflix, on Primetime, on Amazon? Have we turned this to just a YouTube videos where we just come up every day, we do videos and we walk away, and then when we like, we come back out again, we give it all kind of headline with all kind of pictures? That is not a country. So the purpose of the YSDM was to be able to engage the international community through diplomacy, even if we might not agree fully that diplomacy will give us a full sovereign nation, but we cannot omit diplomacy because diplomacy is part of international work. The YSDM aims at objective was to engage the Nigerian state using available instruments provided for by the international law and legislation, which is exactly what we have done fantastically well in the last 5 years. The YSDM aims and objective was to facilitate trust, respect, honesty, open relations between Yoruba self-determination groups. All different groups will be different for different purposes. A security group will be different from a welfare. A welfare will be different from maintenance. Every group will have different operations, and we would also make sure that these groups work to be able to work in line and agenda to free our people. Any group that is set up in disguise as a Yoruba nation group and working against the movement is not in line with this movement, no matter whatever the groups are. You're rather to set up your group and call it a different name, but don't disguise and call it your group that is working for the Yoruba people, but is against the movement. You know yourself. Everybody knows each other. And I hope that you would all work in line with the movement. Also, the aims and objectives of the YSDM was to work towards the common goal of independence for Yoruba land. But we know that there are some groups out there now, they are not working towards the common goal of independence of Yoruba land. Some are now working also towards the agenda of Tinubu 2027. Unbelievable. The aims and objectives of the YSDM was to accelerate the process of Yoruba self-determination. We've been told that there's a rally coming up. Why then are we trying to water down the rally? And you're calling yourself a Yoruba Nation media. You might as well call yourself something else without using the Yoruba word media, the Yoruba media. Because what is the essence of calling yourself a Yoruba media and you continue to water down what the leadership of the movement is talking about, that there will be a rally and the rally will happen, and it's our responsibility to prepare the minds of every Yoruba sons and daughters across the globe to gear up for the upcoming rally. But because of your selfish interest of individuals and groups, as you call yourself, you want to water down the upcoming rally. And you think that by watering down that rally, the rally will not be fruitful, the rally will not succeed, the rally will not lead to an independent Yoruba country. Take that back. This movement will be completed with everything and every power that we have. We will use spiritual, we will use physical, and we will remain mentally fit until the destruction of Nigeria, because Nigeria has destroyed millions of indigenous people. I pity many of you Yoruba people that cannot look in line and see that there is now agenda from some of our medias to distract you from the serious discussion on the table. There will be issues in Nigeria, there's no doubt about it, until the fall of Nigeria, and there will still be issues when we have a Yoruba country. But trying to use the current issues running in Nigeria to distract us from the main goal, then what is the purpose of this media? Our main goal should be our exit, to accelerate, to walk. You're right. Somebody asked, if you know that you don't want to be part of the movement, why did you join? It is not too late. Some of them left, and we give kudos to the work that they did, as at the time they worked towards enlightening our people using their platform. But they've walked away. I can mention names, you know them. Some of them are diverted into something else. It's good for them. But if you remain one Yoruba nation under the leadership of Igboho and Babakitoye and the YSDM, and you continue to deceive Yoruba people on your platform, it is time that these Yoruba people pull out of this platform and focus in the direction that can accelerate the process of the Yoruba self-determination. We are not sitting here coming out because we want Tinubu to become the president again in 2027. I want to do everything to stop that. But it cannot be done on this channel alone. That is the reason why groups are set up. Most of you sit down in groups, cannot even take the campaign to your next door neighbor. How do you expect people to know? Most of these groups, I've looked at it, has even a very limited numbers of people. Are these same numbers of people that will give us the kind of awareness that we need? Yes, if you're doing the right thing, you can multiply each number of the groups with the numbers of people and take the message across different parts of Yoruba land. But rather, you sit in the group and expect a country to come out like that. Our responsibility is to make sure that whatever we are discussing in the WhatsApp groups that we are all embedded with as a Yoruba nation, the message is meant now to deliver it to those that do not have access to the WhatsApp. Millions of Yoruba people do not have Android phones to receive messages like you. So if you're in a group, you should take the message to those offline. But rather than doing so, we continue to fight each other in these groups. We distract each other, we talk too much. While member organizations shall enjoy autonomy in their individual self-determination activities, what more do you need from the YSDM? Your group remain autonomous or autonomy. What does that mean? You can do whatever you like as long as it is still in line with Yoruba nation. You cannot just say, oh, we're a group and we go and do things that the Yoruba self-determination movement has not instructed us to do yet. That means you're far away from the movement. Some of you don't even understand what the movement is all about. You think it's like a child's play. This is a serious life and death. I could be killed for this movement. You could be killed. Igboho was almost to be killed in 2021, but the gods of the land did not allow that. 2 people died in the course of the invasion of Igboho's house on the 1st of July 2021. 12 innocent Yoruba sons and daughters were subjected to dehumanization of people. They were kept just like Nnamdi Kanu in the cells of DSS custody, while we have Fulani terrorists carrying AK-47 across Yoruba land and nobody can touch them. It is time that we know what we are fighting for. It is not too late. I could be killed for what I'm doing. And that is why I do not take it as a joke. I would rather allow myself to fight it to the end, even if I have to be killed on this movement. And I will not sit back and allow anyone to destroy it. So if you're one of those that will destroy this movement, I will destroy you before you destroy this movement. Because most of you are faceless. Most of you will never even come down close to Africa to support it. You don't sit in the diaspora and water down the effort of Igboho and Professor Akintoye and many of our mothers that are walking around the clock. Iyajagun travels from Yoruba land to cross into Cotonou at the age of 70 plus. It's not an easy journey. Many of our youth are crossing across Yoruba land on a daily basis, working day and night to make sure that this movement can still be alive. While some of you sit in your stinking, dirty house and try to water down this movement, we will come offer you at the exact time. But for now, we do not want to be distracted. There is a big event coming up, that is the rally, and that is what we should all be planning for, to set and ready for when the day will be announced. It does not matter when the day will be announced, just prepare for it. This movement is about life and death. If you do not know it, it's about life and death. Britain wants to take your life and wants you to die. So to survive, you must be fit, strong, to defeat every enemy that Britain is using, which are the Yoruba politicians and all our kings except few. Most of them are criminals. Most of them made their wealth from the corrupt system of Nigeria, from Abacha era to Babangida era to Gowon era. They are all criminals, and including MK Abiola and many of such. They destroy us, we will destroy the last empire called Nigeria. Our life will not go for it, but do not think that your life cannot be taken. We are fighting a bigger enemy. And you, as an individual, must be prepared for whatever they're fighting to make sure that our achievement for a self-determination of a Yoruba sovereignty doesn't become reality. We must work and support Igboho. We must work and support Baba Akintoye. We must work for the Yoruba people that are truly in danger across Yoruba land. There is a lot that you can learn from the YSDM. There is an article of association following the resolve of many Yoruba to have our own independent nation outside of the Union, we now know as Nigeria. Several individuals established, we've talked about that. Article name, the name of the organization will be called Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, YSDM. I've told you the purpose and objectives, the aims, collaboration. We will have collaborations with same people with same ideology. We don't need to work with APC, devilish political party. We don't need to work with the PDP, devilish political party that have destroyed Nigeria by bringing in Fulani into the country. And this is an evidence, like I did promise you earlier. We'll listen to this from our brother that are also working day and night under their YouTube channel. Let's watch, for those of you on Facebook, and the rest of you will just listen. This is how Tinubu, Buhari, El Rufai, and all the criminals brought in the Fulani that are now killing us on a daily basis and making life unbearable for us in the contraction known as Nigeria. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. This is Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. The 3rd of May, 2025 is exactly 2:48 a.m. for record purpose.
Let me first of all say that the idea of bringing people from outside the country to destabilize was, I mean, I didn't say they brought people to destabilize. What I said was that the idea, they actually brought people into the country with the intention that those people will come and vote for them. I think you understand? And they never realized, they never knew, they were never convinced that they were going to win that election because PDP was very, very strong on ground. So the fear was that they were going to lose the election. So the only thing they could do was to bring in people who could serve as mercenaries to come and win elections for them through the back door. But when the new PDP came on board and joined them and form the APC and won the election, they didn't know what to do with those people. And in the process, those people became uncontrollable. I mean, many people have spoken about that. You've mentioned a name now, although I hate to mention names. You've mentioned a name now. You've mentioned the El Rufai. I mean, he talked about them.
Good afternoon, everyone. The first day of May is today, 2025. Now, this is an important video that I would like everyone in Nigeria to watch. This is a very interesting video, but it's so dangerous. This is a video we know about. The information in this video is something that we know about, okay? Now, the man that is talking is a Baraji. I used to know him as Baraji, okay? He's a northerner, and he is in the process of explaining that PDP will still win election if they want PDP to win. He started explaining how Tinubu, Buhari, and some APC folks committed treason in the year 2014-2015. They imported foreigners who helped them to rig the election. And he said when Colonial killed them, Atiku Dino Mandaya, when they dumped Jonathan to enter APC, so those people they imported from outside the country, they did not use them again because people who joined APC was enough for them to win the election. And they don't know what to do with those criminals again that they brought. And that is it. Do you understand why they used to tell you that all these Fulanis are local citizens? Do you understand why they don't kill them, they don't do anything against them? We are living in illusion. Nigeria is just living in falsehood. This is not a country. So I want you to pay attention. This video, watch your data, okay? I want you to pay attention and watch this video to understand the reason why I always come here to tell you the reality. People won't tell you all these things, and people will not, mainstream media who are interviewing this man, they will not bring out this part for people to hear. They won't bring it out for people to hear. But we listen and we judge. Take your time and listen to this video.
Member of the PDP, which is one of the strongest opposition party in the country. Anybody can say anything he likes or he wishes. Politics is about dreams. It's about aspirations. Politics is about wish. And so the wish of anybody is its own personal, consumption. And if the APC is saying what they are saying, according to what you said, I think that's their wish. And then the opposition, to remember, are there. They are not just sleeping. In spite of what you call the gale of defection, as far as I'm concerned, defection or no defection, the PDP is still a party that is very strong on ground as an opposition party.
And as far as the defection of the Delta, state governor and the team and the concerned, we have put that one behind us in PDP, and we are looking forward. So it depends on the wish and aspiration of everybody in whatever party. And the ruling party has the right to say whatever they want to say. But the oppositions are not sleeping. In 2014, and now, well, there are some comparisons you may draw, but they are totally different. The movement of the then new PDP was based on ideology, was based on principles, was based on the desire and aspirations of the people that moved. Remember, many of us that moved that time, there were governors, serving governors, there were former governors, there were serving senators, and there was somebody like me who was a former national secretary and a former national chairman. So, and politicians, we have aspirations. So what will we say we wanted that we have not had in PDP that time? But because our members, because our people were not having the result of what we canvassed for vote for, then we decided to dialogue with the leadership of the party that time and the president of that time, and that was President Jonathan, that our people were not getting the dividends. Our manifestos canvassed for vote through, some promises to the people. But our people were not getting these promises. And like PDP, we are not just there for our own, on our own. We are not there to serve ourselves. We are there to serve our people. It's the People's Party. That was the principle. That was the main shoot of the disagreement. And we went ahead to discuss with the leadership of the party, and we brought in, a lot of discussions, here, back and forth with the president. I remember very well, Dr. Abachi, although you are a passive observer from a distance, there were a lot of meetings here and there with Mr. President and the group, the new PDP.
Is this what you're going to be listening to every 4 years? Criminal politicians tells us that their manifesto will give us the basic things of life in 26 years, 16 years of a wasted criminal PDP party, from Obasanjo criminal all the way down to Yaradua died, to Jonathan, another criminal, coming down to APC Fulani agenda. This is the garbage that they expect us to listen to every 4 years. Not the interest of the people. And that is why the YSDM is not a political party. The YSDM remains a Yoruba self-determination movement. And under the Article of Association, they have the membership requirement. Every Yoruba group or organization shall be eligible for membership if it shares the purpose of the Yoruba self-determination to create a sovereign Yoruba nation. The question you should ask yourself is all the groups having the same purpose of the movement? I will leave that for you to decide the groups that you are all in. Upon joining, each group or organization shall pay an admission fee. It is done anywhere in the world. Each member group or organization shall remain independent. What more do you need? Your group still remain an independent. You have the autonomy to do things, to raise funds, as long as whatever you're doing is in line with the Yoruba self-determination movement body. What more do you want them to do? operate as it chooses, be strong, vibrant, and most importantly, uncompromising. Most of our groups now are compromised. Most of our medias are compromised. They continue to deceive you and tell you that they want Yoruba nation, but when the rally is called now, many of them have shielded away as if they are not hearing the rally is coming. That should be the bulk of the conversation in any of our broadcasts, to remind our people that rally is coming. Hardly some of them cannot even mention that rally is coming, and they will continue to shout, Igboho Sha, Igboho De, Professor Akitoye, all the lies. Not just the media, even individuals in the groups are not loyal. Most of them are traitors, and traitors will die before we achieve our movement. Every intending organization shall satisfy such other requirement as may be stipulated by the Executive Committee, the Yoruba Self-Determination Council, the YSDM, the Yoruba Self-Determination Council, known as the YSC, shall be the supreme organ of the YSDM, comprises of 2 representatives from your group. So if you have a group, you should ask your group, are you a member of the YSDM? And if they're not a member, you should ask them why. Because the purpose of the YSDM is to have all the groups collectively to work in line with the movement. They will hold oversight authority over and receive regular periodic report from the executive committee, the expert committee, the secretary. We have the composition, the duties of the committee, the selection of the executive committee members. I'm just, because of the time constraint, because we're going to bring the broadcast to an end. Duties of members. The chairman shall serve the term of 2 years, renewable for additional term. The founding chairman shall be exempted. That is Professor Banji Akitoye, cannot be removed. Is the founding father of this movement. But all other executives would have to submit themselves back to the people after 2 years. We have the Security Committee. The duties of the Security Committee shall include providing, coordinating, and advising the YSDM on security in pursuit of the YSDM objectives. We cannot be telling you security issues. Does Tinubu tell me about the security that is not helping Nigeria today? So you can allow security discussion on the social media. It's an internal job by the expert that knows about it. Protecting the YSDM information system. We have traitors that have taken information and deliver it. Nobody knows the date yet. We wait until the date is announced from the leader. We've seen many traitors that have taken information and share it with our enemies. And the greatest obstacle in life is for your enemies to know your movement in advance. They will destroy and kill you. And we know that the traitors are still among us. They are in your groups. They lie down very low using all kinds of different numbers and different Yoruba names, but they are not real. They are faceless within the groups. They lie down there as a spy, hoping that one day we will drop a bombshell about information that they can take to our enemies. So when some of you sit in the group and expect everything to be discussed on the WhatsApp group, I don't think you know what you're talking about. You think this is Babasuwe movement. You think this is a comedy that we are running. where we can just throw security information or sensitive information into a WhatsApp group to satisfy you. We have the Financial Committee. The Finance Committee shall establish the Yoruba National Fund, maintain a register of all the YSDM assets, advise the Council on fundraising, deliberate and advise on the expenditure of the Yoruba Nation Fund, National Fund, for the purpose of the YSDM and other activities as approved by the Council. We have the Legal Committee. The Legal Committee shall provide legal advisory service to the YSDM. So you can see, that this is not just an ordinary movement. It is a movement that has expertise in every sector. Yes, your group might say that they have the same thing, but they cannot have the same structure like the YSDM. We also have the International Diplomacy Committee. So when they tell you that they are working, yes, people are working around the clock because we have different time zones. It's already morning or afternoon rather in China, afternoon in Australia, New Zealand, while it is still early in the morning at 3:04 when I am releasing this audio. 3rd of May, 2025, Koikimedia. The international diplomacy was set up under the YSDM of establishing and maintaining diplomatic relations with foreign government. No government will tell you that they are having conversation with the Yoruba people. That will compromise them with the federal government of the evil country called Nigeria. Don't expect such information to be known to the public. These are very high classified information that is not even asked to be close to anyone, including myself. Engaging in international knowledge and exchange and forging alliance to promote Yoruba culture. These are the work that people are doing day and night. Implementing the YSDM decisions on matter of committee mandate, provide regular and periodic report to the executive committee. Publicity awareness and sensitization committee. The publicity committee shall coordinate and harmonize the publicity of the YSDM, inform and sensitize our people on the YSDM purpose. Executive mobilization towards the YSDM, identify and mobilize media houses, provide regular periodic report to the executive committee. Every single one of us needs to promote the Yoruba nation cause to others. There is also discipline and conflict resolution committee, interfaith. The research strategy and think tank committee. There are people that sit every day and research and think. There is the welfare and general purpose committee. There is committee for records. There is secretariat. There is national conference. We saw the summit that took place last month in London. There is meeting and voting procedures. All these are what make up, there is confidential and no disclosure. All these is what makes up the YSDM. And as we wind down the program this morning, I say thank you so much for listening. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. If you come across the voice note, please do share it further to others. So, I'm just taking us back to the movement, and I am the last man standing. You have a strong journalist that will work and enlighten with others that are working very well as well. But be rest assured, well, they destroy movements as long as I'm still alive and I'm still here. If they try to, I will fight them back spiritually, physically, mentally, and we're determined. Lord Dira, ogun tó bá lè ṣe lọ ṣogun. Jesus ló lè pè Jesus. Ànábì ló lè pè ànábì. Nigeria will be destroyed, and we will be in the front line to be part of those that will destroy it. It has destroyed many lives. It is time that we destroy it as well. Thank you so much. I gotta go to bed now. I'll catch up again whenever we catch up. And if you don't see me for a couple of days, I am working behind the scene for myself, my family, and also for the goal of Yoruba Nation, OLAYOMI. Thank you so much. God bless Yoruba people. God bless Biafra. God bless the Hausa. It don't go better for Fulani people. It don't go better for anybody that is holding us together. One is surely OLAYOMI now. And from this end, good night.